shame is that sense that like, I am bad. I am not good enough. I am a failure. I don't belong. I won't be loved and accepted if somebody sees me or knows me. Right. And I think shame, what I love about learning about shame is that it gives you a roadmap out of it. Guilt is when I did something that feels out of alignment with my core values. Okay, I don't want to do that again, right? I want to do this differently. But shame is that sense that like, I am bad. I am not good enough. I am a failure. I don't belong. I won't be loved and accepted if somebody sees me or knows me, right? It's that like sense that like we aren't good enough. And that just instantly knowing that those are different things. I see so many women like their shoulders drop and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all this time I thought that was just like mountains of guilt on me, but what it was actually is shame. And then it's like, okay, well then now we can do something about it. You know, we can recognize it, we can call it what it is, and we can look at how we're going to be more graceful and compassionate. And I love this sort of playful approach that you're describing of being in a yoga class and wanting to do the perfect tree pose and then getting humbled, right? And then being able to almost play with yourself about it. Like, oh, there's that part. There's that part of me that just wants to get it just right and wants to be seen getting it right. And, you know, wants to protect myself from ridicule that I'm creating in my own mind that doesn't maybe exist in this actual reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I think someone said, I don't remember who, but if you have a skeleton in your closet, take it out and dance with it.
Yeah.
And so I see that the playfulness that you can have when you're in your yoga practice being very important because you're dancing with these shadow parts of yourself, but not with judgment, because mindfulness is always about compassion, right? And so if we're practicing mindfulness, we are observing our bodies, our thoughts, and our feelings. But if we don't do it compassionately, then it turns into the inner critic.
Yeah.
And then that creates even more shame. So if I'm noticing, oh, there your perfectionist again, then I'm going to be really hard on myself and it's going to turn into more shame. So observing ourselves is something we have to be really careful with in yoga because it also could create higher levels of shame. And that's not what we're looking for. So for me, at least, a soft smile or relaxing my shoulders, they're all medicine for the shame. And I think that's really important for people to realize that yoga doesn't have to be so serious because we might actually be reinforcing our shame if we come into our yoga practice thinking, okay, we have to be perfect. It's really important to pay attention to how you're showing up on your mat because that's probably how you're showing up in life.
Yeah.
And if you can smile on your yoga mat, then you can find that soft smile in life when a conversation with your boss goes haywire.
Gosh, there's so much relevance here about what happens on our yoga mat and what happens in our life and what's happening in our relationship with our body and what's happening when we get that work email where we botch something or whatever it is. Like, and I think it's so good to know that like we have these touch points, we have these trigger points, all of us, where shame is most likely to rear itself up and to start influencing the way that our nervous system responds and the way that our emotions are responding and the way that our beliefs are coming up. And in yoga, so mindfulness really operates a lot on compassion, and yoga really operates on this notion that we're putting ourselves back in our souls over and over again. So it's this like soulful union, because when you're in contact with soul or source, it's that like individual soul, like, yes, I have access to my own soulful self, but also I'm connected to something so much bigger than me and infinite and hard to even describe. And that is inherently neutral, right? Like it's such a spacious place to observe oneself from. And it's this gap between the identification with the shame and the ability to observe the shame, or to be compassionately with the shame, or to just say hi to it. I find that telling people about the things that we're ashamed of is, gosh, it's so helpful.